What's going on, everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to show you how we can fetch data from an API using JavaScript. And at the end of this video, we're going to create a project where we can fetch some images of Pokemon, depending on what Pokemon you type in. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Alright people, so we got to talk about fetch. Fetch in JavaScript is a function. It's used for making HTTP requests to fetch resources, including, but not limited to, JSON-styled data, images, files, resources of that nature. The fetch function simplifies asynchronous data fetching. It's used for interacting with APIs to retrieve and send data asynchronously over the web. Fetch has two arguments, a URL of the resource and an object of options. I won't be talking about options in this video. That's more advanced JavaScript, one of which you may see is a method property. The default is get to get a resource. You can use post to send some data, put to replace some data, and delete to delete some data. So the default is get, but we don't need to explicitly state that. We'll just be focusing on getting data with only a URL. To fetch something, we have to use the fetch function and pass in a URL. What I thought we could do for this video is fetch some Pokemon data from the Pokemon API. If you want to follow along, you can go to this URL. I would like to fetch some data on Pikachu, because everybody knows about Pikachu. And here's some of the data on Pikachu. This resource is one gigantic object. Pikachu has a name, an ID number, a type, Pikachu's an electric type. There's stats such as his attack power, HP. There's even image sprites, which we'll work with later. We will copy this URL and paste it within the fetch function. We will pass in a string representation of this URL. The fetch function is promise-based. It's either going to resolve or reject. So we should add a then and a catch method to catch any errors. Error, arrow, do this. Let's console the error if there's an error. Once the promise resolves, we'll be provided with an object, a response object. Take our response object, arrow, do this. For the time being, let's console.log our response just to see what it is exactly. So here's our response object. The body contains the data we're looking for Pikachu. This response object has a status code of 200. That means it's okay. Here's where you may see that status code of 404 if you can't locate a resource. It has an OK property. If fetching this resource was okay, this is going to be true. If not, it's false. There's also a URL here too. Now our next step is to convert it to a readable format. There's a few different methods. There's array buffer, blob, text, and JSON. These are all methods. We're interested in the JSON method in this example. So our next step is to take our response object, convert it to JSON using the JSON method. This is also promise-based. Once this promise resolves, let's follow this with a then method. Then take the data, our JSON data that's going to be returned to us, arrow, do this. Let's console.log my data just to see what it is. So after fetching data on Pikachu, convert the response object to a JSON format. And here's my data for Pikachu. We have a name, an ID, Pikachu stats, such as his HP and attack, and weight, and many more things. With this JSON data, you can access one of the properties. I would like just Pikachu's name, data.name, Pikachu, data.weight. How much does Pikachu weigh? 60 units of something. Whatever unit of measurement they use in Kanto. What is Pikachu's ID? 25. Near the end of this video, we're going to fetch the sprites of the Pokemon. Now, for some reason, if we try and access a Pokemon that doesn't exist, as of the filming of this video, SpongeBob is still not a Pokemon. We get a status code of 404, meaning we could not find this resource. SpongeBob is not a Pokemon, unfortunately. So even if we can't locate a resource, our promise is still going to resolve. It's not going to reject. We need to check to see if our response is not okay. Let me demonstrate. I will console.log my response object. Here's my response object. It is not okay. Your response will be okay if the status is within the 200 range. Since we have a status of 404, we couldn't locate this resource. OK is false. We're going to throw an error if our property of OK is false. Within our first then method, we'll write a few statements. We need a set of angle brackets. Before continuing, let's check to see if our response accessed the OK property, then use the not logical operator. If our response is not OK. If it's false, we're going to throw a new error and then catch it using the catch method. We can write a custom message. Let's say something like could not fetch resource. If our resource is okay, we won't execute this code. Otherwise, we will return our response object in a JSON format. Let's try and retrieve Pokemon data on SpongeBob. Okay, we have an error, but we have caught this error using the catch method. Error, could not fetch resource. Then let's get data on Pikachu again. And there's Pikachu and his ID number. If you would prefer to use async and await, here's how. Let's delete all this. We will create an async function so that we can use await within it. I will declare a function to fetch data, no parameters, do all this. We will create a try and catch block. Try and catch. Catch has one parameter, an error. If we receive an error, let's console.error the error. Within our try block, we will create a constant of response. The fetch function is going to return an object, a response object. We will await our promise that's returned by fetch. Then we need to get that URL again. Let's get data on a different Pokemon. Another Pokemon that I like is Typhlosion. Honestly, I think Typhlosion is my favorite Pokemon. Alright, here's the stats for Typhlosion. I'm going to copy this URL, pass it to the fetch function as a string. Once the promise for fetch resolves, we have to see if the response is okay. We'll use an if statement. If our response object is the OK property not OK. If our response is not OK, if we can't locate this resource, then we will throw a new error. Let's say could not fetch resource. If our response is OK, we will create a constant for our data. Equals await, take our response, and convert it to JSON. This also returns a promise. That's why we're using await. Then we will console.log our data. And then we have to call the fetchData function because I forgot to do that. Call fetchData. And here's the stats for Typhlosion. Name, Typhlosion. ID, 157. Typhlosion is a fire type. That's how to use async and await to fetch a resource. Now that we know what we're doing, we're going to create a text box and a button to search a Pokemon and pull up a sprite of that Pokemon and display it. So going to our HTML file, we will create an input element with the type attribute of text because it's a text box. I will set the ID of this input element to be pokemonName. It's a little small right now. We haven't applied any CSS. I will add a placeholder of enter pokemonName. Then we need a button. I will create a button element with text of fetch Pokemon. I will set the onClick event handler equal to a JavaScript function. Let's call that function a fetchData. Then I will add a break. after fetching some Pokemon data, we have an image to work with. I will set the source currently to be an empty string. I will display some alternative text if we can't display the image of pokemonSprite. And I will give this element an ID of pokemonSprite. To not display the image currently, we can access the style, access the display property, and set it to be none. Then if we do want to display it, we can set display to be a block. Let's go to our JavaScript file. Within our try block, we will create a constant of pokemonName equals document.getElementById. The ID that I'm selecting is pokemonName. Access the value of this input element. Now, if somebody types in uppercase characters, I'll take the value, make all the letters lowercase. I will method chain the toLowerCase method. toLowerCase method. With our fetch function, we're going to use a template string with a pair of backticks. For the Pokemon's name, we will use a placeholder and pass in our Pokemon name variable. So now when I type in a Pokemon's name, like Bulbasaur, we should get data on that Pokemon, if it exists. So let's go to Inspect, Console, and here's data on Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur's ID is 1. Bulbasaur is a grass type. And I think he's a poison type too, if I'm not mistaken. This JSON data also has sprites, images of each Pokemon. We're going to fetch the front default. So we don't need console.log anymore. We'll create a constant of pokemonSprite to get that image. Equals, take our data, access the sprites property, get the front default sprite. Then we will get our image element, this one that has an ID of pokemonSprite. Const image element equals document.getElementById. The ID that I'm getting is pokemonSprite. We will change the CSS of this element, take our image element, access its source attribute. Right now it's currently empty. Our source is an empty string. Set the source equal to our pokemonSprite. This is a constant. Then we will take our image element, access the style attribute, access the display property, and set it equal to be a block, because right now it's none. Now when I type in a Pokemon's name, like Charizard, and fetch that Pokemon, we get the image of that Pokemon. It is a little small, however, it is a sprite. Sprites tend to be very small. Or we can get Mewtwo. Or whatever other Pokemon you can think of. I think there's like over 1,000 now. Where's Typhlosion? There's Typhlosion. Alright everybody, so that is how to fetch data from an API. You gotta use the fetch function. It's used for making HTTP requests to fetch resources. You can fetch JSON style data, images, files. The fetch function simplifies asynchronous data fetching. It's used for interacting with APIs to retrieve and send data asynchronously over the web. And well everybody, that is how to fetch data from an API using JavaScript.